Hello and welcome to Study with Sudhir. This is your digital classroom. My name is T.S. Sudhir. We are going to be looking at childhood, in a sense, a flashback at childhood. This is a poem which is written by Marcus Natin, a Norwegian poet, and this is part of the Hornbill textbook, the NCERT textbook for CBSE class 11 students. It's a short poem, but a poem that carries a lot of meaning. I kind of enjoyed reading this poem because one, it's written in a rhetorical style. It's constantly asking questions, but the questions are not being asked to anyone in particular. It could be just thinking aloud, as it were. And I feel that the poem would be essentially, the questions are being asked by someone who is neither a child nor an adult, but probably a teenager, an adolescent age, where he's kind of confused because that's a time when the body and the mind undergoes a lot of changes, physical, emotional, psychological, physiological changes, as a result of which these kind of questions are asked. So the dominant theme of this particular poem, Childhood, is one of lament. And what do I mean by the word lament? Lament essentially is about where did my childhood go? And that's what this poem is talking about. Where did my childhood go and when did my childhood go? The first sentence, in fact, when did my childhood go, conveys it so strongly. And the tone, apart from being one of lament, is also one of anguish, it's one of disappointment, and it's also one of deep regret. And what is the poet essentially lamenting about? He's lamenting about over his loss of innocence which he had as a child. He's disappointed because the poet believes that being a child was so much better than being an adult. Adulthood that he's slowly stepping into. So that realization comes that once he's an adult, it would be much more of a distant dream. So it's almost like paying a tribute to those years when he was an innocent child, the years of innocent childhood. The reason for that, he thinks that because he thinks that a child's life is so much adorable, it's very sweet, it's also in a sense very peaceful because you don't have carry any worries of the world, whereas an adult's character which he's stepping into is full of worry, it's full of anxiety, and it's much more complicated. Now, in terms of the form of the poem, as I mentioned, it's in the form of questions, a lot of rhetorical questions, and he's not asking you for answers, but it's almost like he's thinking aloud. There is also an element of light humor which I would highlight when I go through the poem. There is also an element of sarcasm. There is also an element of questioning in terms of, he kind of makes clear that he is not approving of many things which we will talk about. So there is also a lot of criticism against the adults. And at the end of the poem, we feel that there is some kind of a self-discovery, or at least the process of self-discovery has kind of begun towards the end of the 4-stanza poem. So let's now go through it stanza by stanza. When did my childhood go? Was it the day I ceased to be 11? Was it the time I realized that hell and heaven could not be found in geography and therefore could not be? Was that the day? So the poet is curious to know when was it exactly that he lost his childhood, and it's a strange kind of question because obviously you cannot pinpoint one particular day when he lost his childhood, though many of us will know that when you turn 18 you are now an adult, right? We know of the years preceding adulthood as teenage years, but do we know precisely the moment that you are no longer a child, right? In fact, many people say that, oh, he still retains a very childlike quality. There is a childlike enthusiasm, right? So the word child contains in it a lot of hope, a lot of positivity, a lot of enthusiasm, and a lot of energy. There's something very positive about being a child, which is why we use the term child man, childlike enthusiasm. So the poet is curious to know when exactly he lost his childhood. He tries to find out the answer to his own question. He feels it was perhaps the day when he discovered the theories of heaven and hell, which must have been told to him as part of stories by his parents or his grandparents. And that geography actually did not provide any kind of location to where heaven and hell were located. And therefore he realized that heaven and hell were just figment of the human imagination. They did not actually exist, because if they existed, the geography textbook would actually tell him where exactly it was. So there is that element, a touch of light humor out there. He also links it to the time when he turned 11. So there is also a reference to his age, that he believes when he turned 11, he was no longer a child in that sense, right? And therefore, he had lost his childhood. Now, linked to this entire thought process that we are getting a glimpse into in the first stanza is also the importance of learning, the importance of education, right? Because it is because of his knowledge of geography, for instance, at least that's what he mentions, that he is now much more aware of what is happening around him. He's also able to kind of articulate it in so many words, quite brilliantly, I must say, to be able to raise questions, because every time you raise a question, it shows that you are more aware, that you are more thirsty for knowledge, right? And he's also thinking about it in a very logical kind of manner. You see, there are different aspects of the poet's personality that you're coming to know as you are reading the poem. That he is a very logical kind of a person, he's able to articulate his thoughts well, that he is someone who kind of believes a lot in the importance of education, in the importance of learning, that it is because of geography that he has learned that those stories about heaven and hell, those two places actually did not exist, right? So, he is able to have a clarity of thought, a very rational way of thinking, and that's what you come to know in the first stanza. Now let's move to the second stanza. When did my childhood go? So again the same question is there at the beginning of the first, second and the third stanza. When did my childhood go? Was it the time I realized that adults were not all they seemed to be? They talked of love and preached of love, but did not act so lovingly. Was that the day? And you realize it's not a question mark, it's an exclamation mark at the end. Was that the day? So it's almost like, he's kind of wondering, which is what the exclamation mark conveys. He's wondering if that was the day when all these things that were happening about adults, that he realized that that was the day that his childhood actually went. So the stanza is actually a very sharp commentary on the manner in which adults actually behave from a child's perspective, from a teenager's perspective, right? And it tells you what he actually thought of adults. The poet makes a point that the adults essentially wear a mask. They actually wear a mask because they do not practice what they actually preach. And especially while they spoke of love and affection, they actually were not loving, they were not affectionate, they were not caring, and perhaps they were even violent, right? So he's kind of showing the two faces of adulthood, that they did not mean what they actually spoke about. They spoke about being loving, but that's not what they actually practiced, right? So it's a very sharp comment on adulthood. Stanza number 3. When did my childhood go? Was it when I found my mind was really mine, to use whichever way I choose, producing thoughts that were not those of other people, but my own and mine alone? Was that the day? Yet another way of kind of wondering if that particular... So he's raising all these questions, and he has given you different kind of options whether that was the day when his childhood actually vanished. What is the third stanza speaking about? The second stanza, we saw that it kind of conveyed that the child does not have trust and faith in adults, right? And that loss of trust and faith must have been the first stepping stones towards losing of his childhood. What does the third stanza convey? It conveys that now he takes his own decisions, right? And that's what it's also being conveyed in the manner in which he's articulating his thoughts, that his mind was really mine. He was no longer doing what the adults in the family were or in the community were actually telling him to do. He was deciding what he will do, right? It was not controlled by others. there is a sense of individuality that comes across in this particular stanza. And according to me, when I was reading this poem, I thought this was really the most defining stanza, because it conveys a sense of individuality. It conveys a sense of that he believes that this is what it is, that this is what I am. Okay, there is a sense of I in this particular stanza. And he's able to think for himself now, not repeating what others thought for him. Thoughts were his own and only his. And that, according to me, is when you start thinking, when the child is actually guided by the adult. Even during the adolescent years, there is a sense of being guided by the adult. But you're no longer a child when you start thinking for yourself. Teenage years, we generally believe, are the years when the children are usually a little rebellious, and people believe that that's bad behavior. No, that is actually the age when they are trying to assert themselves, trying to tell the adult that now I can start thinking, at least start the process of thinking for myself, right? Parents and grandparents think that that's a stage of rebellion, but actually it's a way of asserting and trying to discover by trial and error what is probably good and what is probably not so good for me. The final stanza is a little different, because the first question is not the same. The when did my childhood go is now replaced by where did my childhood go? Okay, so he's asked one question in the first three stanzas, but in the fourth stanza, the when is replaced by where did my childhood go, right? It went to some forgotten place that's hidden in an infant's face. That's all I know. So what he is saying in this poem's last stanza is that the childhood has gone into hiding into some forgotten place. And why is it a forgotten place? Because he doesn't know where it is, and he thinks maybe it has gone, it is now hidden in an infant's face. Okay, and when he sees a small child, he may see that, okay, that infant is a child. So in that sense, the childhood is now kind of receding into some kind of a distant memory. Why? Because this person is moving towards adulthood. He is moving forward. So any infant starts looking like the childhood in an infant's face, on an infant's face, starts looking like a distant memory. So basically in the final stanza, what the poet is trying to understand is where his childhood has gone, and he believes that it has now become a memory for him. It has now become a memory for him which he can only look at on the faces of an infant, right? And he believes that in the manner in which the stanza is constructed, it's also a reminder of the way of life, that you move forward and childhood kind of continues in several other young lives. So in that sense, as one critic said, it's a cyclical process of sorts. So that is what this poem is all about. Now, just looking at the broader themes of this particular poem, now, as I said, it looks like it's been written by someone who's stepping into adulthood. So it could be at the age of 16, 17 or 18 or just before 18. And as I said, this is the age when the body and the mind goes through a lot of changes, and that is what is being reflected in the kind of questions, the rhetorical questions that the poet has asked in this particular poem. The repetition in terms of the form which has been used, the repetition of the same question in the first three stanzas and more or less the same kind of question in the fourth stanza, is what is known as the refrain. That there is a refrain in the entire poem, and that's basically carrying the primary messaging. The central message of the poem is conveyed through that particular question, when did my childhood go, right? And also at the end of every stanza, was that the day, with an exclamation mark, is another refrain. So in terms of a styling of the poem, that's the style that Marcus Nathan has used in this particular poem. So that's the central theme of the poem, where he's talking about having lost his childhood, and then in the end of the stanza, he's asking the question whether that was really the day when he indeed lost his childhood, right? So childhood, essentially, to kind of recap this entire poem, is talking about the innocence of childhood, is talking about a more pure life, a purity of childhood, and it also makes the reader also wonder whether I also need to ask, when did I lose my childhood? If I'm an adult now, or if I'm a teenager now, am I very different from the kind of person I was when I was a child? And whether I now no longer have the innocence of childhood, of a child, I now no longer think in a very straight and very unadulterated kind of manner, whereas now my mind is prejudiced. I may be speaking about love and affection, but my mind is thinking about violence. So it kind of puts in your mind questions that will lead you to self-discovery of some kind, whether I need to go back to those days when I was a child, when I was much more innocent. And that's really the larger theme of this particular poem. It will make you ask questions to yourself whether you still have that childlike purity in yourself, whether your mind is pure or whether it is adulterated. Adulterated also coming from the word adult, okay, and that itself carries a big message, because adulterated is something which is impure and childlike innocence is something which we are talking about in this particular poem. I hope the poem is very clear. It's a very fascinating kind of poem which raises a lot of important questions, and I would really want you to kind of think about it after you've heard this video, and probably put it down in words as to what you think is the central theme and the message of this poem. Thank you very much. We'll continue to do all the poems and the stories and the essays from the CBSE English 11 class 11th syllabus, and I'm sure you have had a look at the other chapters that we've already covered and published here on Study with Sudhir. Thank you very much for watching.